Hey,
Hey.
ladies.
Oh,
Hey.
hey.
How's everyone
What's
doing?
new? What's up?
I'm sorry if I look more disheveled today. I have a sick toddler, so do not have time to do my hair.
That's what drives me
Uh,
crazy about you. No matter what, you always look cute.
Thank
But
you.
I will look like a gargoyle.
I'm telling you, it's just the tinted moisturizer, guys.
It's
The
everything.
brightness
I
adds to your beautiful lived-in sweatshirt.
Is that the
Thank you.
glow screen one that we both use? The glow screen
Yes.
one? Fucking love
Super
that
goop.
shit.
Yeah.
Love that
Super
shit.
goop.
$55 I don't need to spend, but fuck, I love it.
It's worth it. Yeah.
100%.
Anyway, I'm happy that we're meeting today, despite the sick kid. I was actually thinking about, obviously, we had a great discussion when we were talking about the exit strategy in our professional lives.
Mhm.
And it got me thinking about how it relates to my personal life. And I was thinking, like, did I ever tell you guys about this story where I sold everything I own? I moved to South America with a guy I knew I wasn't in love with.
Oh, thank God you're talking about the past. I was getting so scared. I'm like, what are you talking about?
But
Oh,
no, never told us the
No, what do
story.
you mean?
no.
Oh my gosh, guys, literally, my hands are sweating. It's still, even like it was a long time ago, this is over a decade ago, I still obviously like get nervous telling the
Trauma?
story.
Are you ready to
Trauma,
tell
but
this? Tell this to the
yeah,
world?
like, yeah. I think it's a good story for everyone to hear because it's a story about possibly staying too long in a relationship.
Mm.
So I was I was dating this guy in university. We worked together, went to the same school. You know, we had a lot of close friends together. We dated for a couple of years and we decided when I graduated that we wanted to move to South America and travel. And so I think we thought that it was going to be forever, or at least he thought it was going to be forever. I wasn't so sure.
The relationship,
I
South America, or both?
all of the above. Yeah, so I decided to sell everything I owned. I packed up like one suitcase, left on this trip with him, we went to Buenos Aires and we got an apartment together. And honestly, it was within 2 weeks of being there, I had a moment where I saw him in the middle of the day in his underwear, sitting on the couch, no shirt on, drinking a beer. And it was like a visceral reaction, like,
Did you get the
"Oh,
ick?
no." Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Before we
I
knew what
just
the ick was?
yeah, like, I mean, that term is like it's so funny. It's so
It's so true.
like the new generation. I would never use that term, but that's exactly what it was. It was the feeling of like, this is not for me. Like, no, I can't. This is not my person forever.
Was it the underwear? Was it the beer? Was it all the other hot men
The
you
midday.
saw? Like,
Like, yes.
yeah, what was the trigger point?
The
No,
man
I
body
mean,
before that even happened, or what, a dad bod before the dad bods are even a thing too?
Yeah,
Can you have the dad
definitely.
bod in your early 20s?
I don't know.
probably.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it. No, if it was like a hot guy that I was obviously obsessed with, sitting in your underwear drinking a beer is a whole different
Yeah, like if I
story.
feel like if I come
do
out
I
and see
jump your
Jason
bones right now?
Momoa, yeah.
Yeah. No, this was not that. This was like, I think, a moment for me. I questioned before I moved down there if he was the right guy for me. And I thought, should I do this? Like, is this crazy?
Interesting.
And I actually spoke with my brother because he started dating his current wife and they had such a beautiful relationship. And I was seeing that kind of materialize in front of me. And I said to him, like, should I go? And he said, the only way for you to know is if you go.
Yeah.
And
Well,
oh,
what do you
did I
think?
know?
Like, you're young, you have all these plans to travel the world,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
commend you for that, but, like, what are you gonna do? Put your entire life on pause? Because 'Cause you're probably not gonna get that moment again. I
Carpe
think.
Yeah.
diem. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm happy that I did because we so we actually spent 8 months down there. So imagine this is 2 weeks in and I stuck around
8 months
for 8.
after the 2-week milestone of the ick.
Did
Mhm.
you tell him?
Mhm.
Were you friends?
Did you do what
So
women do and just
yes, this is why exit strategy comes into play because I stayed with him like in the relationship for 8 months,
Oh my gosh.
traveling with him. It actually wasn't
Doing other
until
things with him?
oh god, honestly, I tried not to. I find every excuse not to because it was just one of those like
Your womanly
scenarios.
duties?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I hated it. Like it felt
Yeah.
too
It felt
like
ick.
like a sibling
Mm.
type of
Oh,
relationship.
Um, is-
Yeah, like, you know, I think Jordan
I hope your
maybe
brother doesn't hear that.
I know.
totally.
It was definitely like, yeah, feeling a little bit too much like a brother-sister thing, which was
What
another
were you
reason
about
why
to say with my name there?
I was like, "You probably had this experience before."
You know too much about me because I've disclosed basically. Yes. Yes, Eddie. But back to you, not me.
Well, like, so you fly back, and then what happens? Did you break up with him right away? Did this continue on for a bit? Like, what was the actual
Yeah.
exit from this relationship?
So, yeah, obviously it took me a long time to decide, okay, I do need to break up with him now. Like,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous. It's been 8 months. I clearly don't want to have
Plus
an
the 2
intimate
weeks,
relationship
plus the
with
time
him.
before that.
Yes. Plus, yeah, so we're going on like 3 years of being together now. So, um, and actually my family and my dad came down with my stepmom and they knew like something was going on and they had a conversation with me like, "Are you good? Because this is
Parents
not."
always know.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
always
they
know.
could feel it. So
Yeah.
I think at that point I was like, okay, I accepted it and I knew I needed to do it. So anyway, we traveled a bunch. It was great. It was an amazing trip. The person is so fun to travel with, just not my person.
Yeah.
So
into
when
that.
we were leaving, what we decided, the plan was to stay there and to like live there and be there forever. Obviously, that was no longer my plan. So I said, let's go back. We couldn't find jobs. So it was like the perfect scenario for me to just have an excuse to leave. So we get on the plane. So we were Machu Picchu and we were flying home from there. So we had a flight from Cusco back to Lima, Lima to Florida, and Florida to San Fran
wow.
because
Ouch.
yeah, multiple
Oof.
legs,
Oof.
like 36 hours of flying. His family lived in San Fran. My mom was living there. So we're like, we'll just fly there and our
Stop
families
it,
will
yeah.
pick us up. So we're sitting on the tarmac in Cusco. This is the very first leg.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he keeps asking me, like, are we going to get an apartment together? Like, what's the plan? And I just was like, I don't know. Let's figure it out. I'm trying to
I'm getting
avoid the
contact
conversation.
anxiety.
My hands
Yeah.
are sweaty too. My palms.
Yeah, imagine how I was feeling. I'm like, oh no, it's hot. Like I was feeling kind of like this buildup in my body
Yeah.
of like I can't lie anymore. And he kept pushing and pushing, and finally, I just screamed in the middle of the plane, "I don't love you anymore." And yeah, it was
That was your exit?
like a soap opera. Yeah, I
Were
was
you
watching
sitting by the
myself.
exit aisles? Where were you in the plane? Did everyone hear this? I'm like,
Oh no, like we were in the back of the plane, and there were people sitting around us, so it was like a very awkward situation. And he burst into tears,
Of
obviously.
course he did.
And I felt horrible, but
Yeah,
I
that's
was
awful.
also relieved. I was like, "Oh my god, that felt
It's
good."
out there.
Yeah, I mean, you kept it in for 8 months. That's commendable, Lex. How much more can you do?
Yeah, and honestly, it was too long. It was too long. And the worst part is, like, we had to fly for now these multiple trips to get home,
Unbelievable.
and we weren't speaking to each other. And he's like, on and off, like breaking out into tears, and people are staring at us, like, "What's going on over there?"
Yeah.
That
And-
harpy that just broke this poor guy's heart.
I know. And like we had such bad turbulence. Our plane like dropped. I'd never experienced anything like it. Like stuff was flying everywhere in the plane. Obviously all the Latino ladies are yelling, "Yes, Mia," screaming like people were gonna die. And all I could think of was that people are gonna think that we died in love with each other and they're gonna put our friggin' tombstones next to one
Lovers
another.
They would have
Tombstones
wanted to spend
forever.
eternity together.
That's all I could think about. I
Holy
was like, oh my God, people aren't going to know. They're not going to know the truth.
That is wild, Lex. What a
Unless there's that
crazy
one
story.
survivor on the plane.
I know, right?
So
like,
would
oh
you
yeah,
have,
that couple
like,
broke
looking
up in the
back,
back.
Would you have done this again? Would you have spent the entire 8 months? Was it like the best trip of your life, regardless?
It was.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was. It was an incredible trip. I saw so many great places. Like I went to Patagonia.
Yeah.
I went all throughout Chile. I went to just incredible places I probably never would have gone otherwise. So I'm happy that I did it. I think the takeaway is sometimes you stay in relationships too long,
Mm-hmm.
way beyond the expiry date. But sometimes you kind of just need to do things or go out of your comfort zone to realize, like, oh
It's
yeah,
wrong.
this is not for me.
I would
Like if
say
I
that's
had,
pretty far out of your comfort zone for sure.
yeah, like if I had stayed with him, like living in Santa Barbara, we probably would have like gotten married.
Yeah.
Just staying there and being like, oh, I guess this is it.
I mean, he's not going
Versus,
anywhere with the underwear sitting on the couch drinking beers. That would have continued for the rest of your life.
yeah, that
Just
would
more
remain
ick
the
moment.
same.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Laurel, what
So
about you? Exit strategy? Does this
No,
kind
I
of
was gonna
spur
say I
anything
feel
on
like
your
Jordan
part?
has got stories on staying too long. Jordan, we love you, but like I feel like there's been a few that
Oh
it's
God.
hard though. Like I think like some of
yeah.
them that you've been in, I don't know if you want to get into it. It's kind of like they're nice guys. So like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like,
And that's the worst when everyone says,
yeah,
but they're so great. You're
and
like,
everyone else says
ugh,
that.
I
Well,
know they're great, but like, not for me.
Totally.
well, I mean, that was my I won't use names, but I would say that's my fireman story. Like
Mhm.
Laurel, I think
Mhm.
even I remember he and I going and looking at houses and like these I remember coming back into the office one day and like showing you. Oh no, I showed you before we went this like beautiful house in Halton Hills, and it had this like
Mhm.
little schoolroom thing. Like it was stunning. The house was perfection. Like the thing my Pinterest boards are made of. But I was like, I think kind of like similar to you, Lex. It's like, am I going to build a life in this house that's perfect with this
Mhm.
person? And it was like
Mhm.
building and building and building. That was way before we actually broke up though. Like that was summer. And then it wasn't until in the pandemic when we actually broke up. We obviously didn't pull the trigger on the house. But like then during the pandemic, I remember like he was spending more time at my house, whatever. And I snapped one day too, actually. I think Laurel, I think I told you all this story. I snapped one day where we had gone to like the Van Gogh exhibit or something. We came back and he was like, so like, what do you want to do? And I think you guys know what I'm like when my mood shifts and I can't fake it anymore. And he was like, I feel like you don't even want me here. And it just kind of came out. And I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
And then the second it was like I wished I was a cartoon where you can like pull the word bubble. And I was like, I don't. And he's like, does that mean you want me to leave tonight? Or are we and like there was it was horrible. I remember I was like, I think we're done. He took a bunch of his stuff. But like leading into that, like I remember I had conversations with you guys about like, he's such a nice guy. He's
Yeah.
such a good guy. He would show up and be supportive. Like Laurel, he would show up when we were
Yeah.
at the office. Like
Yeah.
he and I know that he's engaged now. He's got a kid. Like he actually went off and got all the things that he really wanted that I knew that I was never going to be. But like I should have cut him loose
Yeah.
way sooner. And I
Mhm.
think one of the things that happened was like, I think we all know, I'd gone through a series of like, not good, bad boy, bad boy, bad boy. I had strategically taken a year off dating to get my you know what together. He was in the friend group. He was always an amazing guy. We were at a party one night and he was like, well, I'm moving to Ottawa in 6 months. And I was like, great.
Perfect timing.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
And then he
get
never
wrong
moved
with
to
that.
Ottawa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, you're not doing anything wrong. And then I had convinced myself that there was something kind of like wrong with me where like, hey, I just wasn't getting like the dopamine hit from like the drama from the bad boys. This guy's freaking amazing.
Mhm.
Why don't I feel the thing anyway? But yeah, I remember similar to you, Lex. Maybe it's a Scorpio thing. I just like snapped in that one moment. And I don't think I yelled it out loud, but I was like, no, I'm sorry. Like I don't.
I think we're loyal, and that's maybe part of the problem is we're too loyal and we're afraid to possibly hurt someone's feelings because breakups are hard regardless
I'm loyal
if
to a
you
fucking
love the
fault.
person or not. It's
It's
always
also
hard,
this
yeah.
weird twist where like you feel like you're not breaking up with them if they bring it up first. Almost. Or you're just kind of sitting around. You're
Totally.
like,
Put them
well,
away so they do it.
because you
Oh,
said
it's like,
it, I guess
oh,
we're
thank
breaking
God.
up.
Yeah. It's true.
Or you're just like me too.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of feels like it
Yeah.
lessens the blow, but then you're just sitting around knowing you don't want
What
to be with somebody, which is almost worse.
what sucks though, I think, like I had lived that way for a very, very long time. I think my exit strategies are pretty locked down, except for like the most recent where I got the surprise blow, and
Mm,
being on the other end of it is not great. But like
mhm.
It
same
sucks.
thing. Had sold most of my shit, moved in, blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Thought this was forever. Yeah, like there's no good way, but I think what's interesting to your like point, Lex, is like at work we are so cautious to be like, how do I exit? How do I not burn a bridge?
Totally.
Blah, blah, blah. Personally, you're like grenade.
Such an interesting observation. Like, why is that so different? Why do we think that's different?
I think because there's like, I don't know, with with the work world, the corporate world, I think you're expected to act a certain way.
Yeah,
You'll see them again.
that's
Well, I
true.
feel like I'm
Yeah,
not trying to
that
get them
too.
to like me as much. Like, I feel like you want to be loved and like in a relationship, you like want to be like they picked you, right? Like feel special versus like at
Mm.
work, I'm like, I don't need to be
They
anybody's
still
real
pick you.
friend. I'm not looking to, there's a different kind of, I think, expectation on like what you feel and want from that. But it's definitely, yeah, I feel like
There's more
in,
like emotional weight too, I think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're like
Or you
lying
just like,
naked with the person at night and then have to wake up with them in the morning. You can't
or
just
maybe just
leave your desk at the end of the day.
or we
Yeah.
stay longer in the person. Like I like with the fireman, for example, like I think I knew at that 6 months mark, like we're not going the distance, but was really trying to convince myself. Versus I think when you're in a professional setting and kind of like the checklist that we talked about, I'm not gonna grow here, et cetera, et cetera. It's easier to say, hey, if these are my criteria, and to
Yeah,
your point, you don't still have the same emotional thing of like, this is somehow validating if I'm lovable, whatever the bullshit is that goes with it. In a relationship, I don't think you have those same kind of criteria and those checklists. Or maybe you do, but you like talk yourself into it or
Exactly. I think sometimes we like have the checklist, but we ignore other flags that
yeah.
this person is not the right person.
Yeah.
That's why I feel
sometimes,
like people saying like, "Oh, they're perfect on paper" is kind of like ridiculous because sometimes it's just about like a connection. Do you
a
have that
feeling.
well,
connection with someone?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
speaking of feeling, I had not an exit, but a little bit of a different twist, which I kind of want to talk about. So, I've been with my partner Brian for 15 years. He's amazing. He's my rock. He's
we
totally
love
pushes
Brian.
me. Everybody loves Brian. I know. Pushes me out of my comfort zone, which is like the best part about him.
He pushes all of
And
us out of our comfort
this
zone.
is true.
He sure does.
He is good at that. And let's say like a year and a half, no, 2 years ago, maybe we just felt something was off, like, which was so weird because we loved hanging out with each other. Everything else was great. We had a good time. We had amazing friends. We loved traveling the world, but there was just something not connected.
Mm.
And we ended up taking conversations like outside of the home because we felt that was just a really safe space. So we would go across the street to our local bar, sit at that bar, and have these like full-fledged, in-depth conversations about what the F was going on in our lives, both crying, Lex, similar to
At
your
the
story.
I
At
love
the
it.
bar, it's like happy hour drinks because I didn't want to pay extra for wine. It was like 5 p.m. if
'Cause
we
you're
were just trying
crying.
to, like, decompress after work. We're both crying. And then we actually just realized one thing. Do you guys know what that is?
No,
We
what?
were just bored.
Bored.
Bored of
Oh.
life, bored of our jobs, bored of the monotony of like doing the
Mhm.
same shit all the
Every
time,
day.
every single day, which like that's what happens in long-term relationships. So it wasn't like the most light bulb moment, but it was actually amazing because we were exploring breaking up. We were exploring like, do we need to get new homes but like stay together? Do we like try
Mm.
on other sexual partners? Like what do we have to do that is like gonna fix whatever's wrong? And then we just realized we just had to like do whatever we were saying we were gonna do you know?
Was I a
Not sit on the
candidate
couch
for that
for,
when
like,
it was the
hours
3
on
of us
end.
in California for Lex's wedding?
Yeah, exactly.
Was I up for consideration? And I
I
just
don't know,
didn't know?
maybe we're doing a
Thank
trial
God you
run.
did.
Yeah.
Did I fail the
Testing it
Now
out.
I feel like I failed the test. Now I feel like
It was too
They were
early.
I
interviewing
missed
you.
my shot to be part of a throuple.
Hey, man, there's still a chance. Jordan, there's still a chance. We didn't close that loop entirely, but
I mean, I'm single as a Pringle. Like, you let me know.
there you go. We'll take this offline, Jordan. I know.
So how did you, like, what have you guys done differently if it's safe for recording?
Safe for podcast consumption, but we had this laundry list of things that we wanted to do as a couple. Like these
Okay.
aspirations of things we wanted to do. Like we lived in a tiny, tiny apartment at the time, and we always wanted to move out, and we just didn't do it. Like there was some sort of barrier, maybe because there was something like not fully connected, and we moved. And honestly, like just completing actions of things that we talked about as a
Love
couple
that. Yeah.
solidified us being a couple, you know? And
Mm.
now we just have these more in-depth conversations about where do we want to go in life? Are we happy? Checking in. All those things they tell you to do and you never do it.
Communication?
So uncomfortable. Yeah.
Intentional.
Communication.
Yeah.
It works. So not this like terrible story, but we could have broken up. You know, that could have been a real thing, but we still loved each other. And I guess my lesson for everybody is go to the bar, have the
Correct.
conversations because you're forced to do it.
I
Otherwise, you're just sitting
wish.
at home
Yeah.
and you're distracted and you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So I think what's so interesting about that is that, like, if I use my last situation, I almost wish we had had this conversation because
Right.
we did the opposite and failed horribly. We had the conversations at home. From my perspective, I got cornered at home. Like
Right.
it would either be like when I was first coming in the door from
Yeah.
work or like I remember one time specifically, I had been like 3 weeks on multiple RFPs, no sleep, like go train into the city. And then like the day everything was done, it was like a Thursday night. I was like, great, I get to work from home the next day, like blah, 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 blah. He just like went off on, so we were at home, not a
Yeah.
great situation. Tensions were already high. And I think to your point, just to the ability to like take it down a notch and
Yeah.
have that conversation. I think I love that you guys were able to do that because, like, I think if I had had that perspective or that advice, I know that I probably would have tried to enforce that. I don't know if our outcome would have been different or if it
Totally.
would have just, yeah, but ironic because everything that you're saying, like, I think we had sat down right before our official breakup. We had put together vision boards.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some overlap on the vision board, which was kind of confirming for us, like, yeah, we still see things the same way. But I think what was interesting is there was more content on my vision board about us as a unit. So me, him, and his 2 kids. His vision board was very self.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and I only really recognized that, like, looking back on it, where, like, one of the things that I put on the vision board too, like, we had talked about, like, going with his kids to Italy, like, all these things that we wanted to do. So I had all that on our vision board in addition to this, like, big table with, like, images of, like, teenage, like, all these things. He had a Porsche, tailored suits. He had Italy as a continent, but not the, like, family thing. But in that moment, and maybe this is girl brain, I was like, yay, we're still totally aligned.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can go back and look at that
Yeah.
photo because we hung them in our closet and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then I can go back and look at that photo now and be like, it was literally staring you right in the face. How in that moment did you just not say, like, why does my vision board include our family unit and your vision board only includes you? And I think we broke up a month later.
Yeah. Well, you probably didn't want to know the answer either.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Oh, I was delulu. I
Yeah.
was like one of my good friends that I think you guys have all encountered said to me, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. You guys were in different relationships.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah. Anyway.
Laura,
So
we've
Nina,
gone
I have to
all
talk to
around.
you before.
You know, I'm always going to give you the unvarnished view.
I
of
know
everything
sometimes
in
it
the world.
stings in the moment, but you're always right and
Yeah.
it kills me.
Truth hurts.
No, it's interesting to hear everybody because I feel like Jordan and Lex, you're talking about like being different in relationships than work, and I feel like I'm not. Like I feel like I'm very decisive at work, probably to a degree where there's like I need to have a little
Don't
bit
walk
more
it back. I love it.
empathy
It's good.
or
No.
sentiment, and like I just don't have it. And even in my own relationship, so I've been married for 15 years, and I think dating for like 20 or whatever at this point, and but we've been engaged twice, so I've been engaged to
Ooh.
the same person
What?
twice, but it was honestly because he was kind of wishy-washy. Like we were kind of on and off dating, but like I like really loved him. It was good. We were back together. We got engaged. And then it was like, I felt like, when you feel you're like, they're not in completely. They're just like,
Totally.
it's fine. Kind of probably like passing ships where it's like, you still have fun, you still hang out. Like, all of that's fine. But you're like, something is not right. And I was like, no, this is over. Like, I ended the engagement because I was like, you need to be 100% in. I'm not marrying somebody who's not like, you are my person. Like, you got to be both
Yeah.
fully on the train.
Can you
And
paint a picture for us? Was he like down on one knee in this beautiful location, sunset, and then you looked him in the eyes and you said, "No, I will not. Get your shit together."
No, so we were engaged, and then I gave him the ring back,
Oh,
like, a
ouch.
couple months into planning stuff because I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and, like, convince you to marry me, like, that's just not gonna be a thing, and so, it was super hard, like, I'm not super in touch with my emotions, I don't really, like I feel like I can say
Here
that
you
I
go.
like to say I'm Dutch, and so I don't really get into it. But I feel like I'm also very like, I've always been very clear on what I want, and I was like, "No, like, he is my person, like, we have the best time when he's in." So, like, when he was in, it was, like, the best, but as soon as he was kinda like, "I don't know,"
Mm.
then, like, shit kinda
You
falls
feel
off.
it.
So, I said, like, gave the ring back, and he's like, "Can we still be friends?" And I was like, "No, like, you gotta
No.
figure out your shit." And then yeah, and then he did have to, like, re-propose and re-grovel and flowers and knocking
Grovel.
at the door and not the boombox at the window, but, like, I would say
Eh, iconic.
definitely that kind of area because I don't know, like, for me, like, marriage is like, yeah, like, I want it to be
Forever.
forever, and I
Yeah.
don't wanna ever be with somebody that I'm like, "Did you really want me?" Like, because
Yeah.
then you're always gonna be in that, like, "Am I good enough?"
Yeah.
Or, like, you just start questioning shit, and I'm like, I question enough shit at work. I question enough shit in my personal relationships, like, I need my marriage or my partner to be, like,
To feel.
that rock that is going to yeah, like, support me and encourage me, and I think Jordan, like, we've talked a lot about, like, he's my hugest advocate from a career perspective, which
Yeah,
has
he's
been
great.
awesome. He's like, "How do I help you? What do you need? Like, what do you wanna do? Like, do we need to move?" He's, like, the biggest, like,
He's so
proponent, and I
good.
think so, yeah, it's been bumpy, but I think you have to step back, like, in your job and say, "What is important to you?" And Nina, like, it's so amazing that you guys even had that conversation to be like, "Something's not working." Like,
Yeah.
willing to raise it and then
Yeah.
talk it through even though it's hard and shitty because else like, you go to bed at night, you're feeling like something's not right, and so then it, like, affects everything else, so anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to you, I think that's cool to hear that you're, like, so far in a relationship and can have those conversations.
To
It,
be fair, I didn't bring it up. Brian 100%
We'll
brings it up.
give
But
props
that
to
that
Brian then.
Brian did
that
it.
oh, yeah, but that's also our relationship. Like,
Again, I
we hit
love
a
him.
bumpy road because he was annoyed that he always had to bring everything up. And
Yeah.
then we had a conversation about that, and I think we realized that's just the way that it's gonna be. And as
Mhm.
soon as we
Yeah.
also had that
Interesting.
conversation, it, like, diffused some of those, like, sentiments we had about each other, and we're just like, "Okay, this is the way it is. Move
It's
I
at
forward."
actually
work, like
like
how you
that because you're
define
like,
like the ways of working.
yeah, you're
Totally.
setting
Totally.
Exactly
expectations,
it.
which I think a lot of people, they just make assumptions and they have different expectations, and that's why everyone gets hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's what's interesting. Lex, you started this conversation as a continuation of our exit strategy. And I think
Yeah.
as you guys are all talking, and we know I'm in the situation I was in a while ago where I like took a year off, blah, blah, blah. I think it's been like 14 months now. Everything that you're saying, I think I'm going to use as my like entry strategy.
Love it.
So
What
like,
a great word.
well, this is what I'm
Mhm.
so like Laurel has always I would say tried to hold me a little bit more accountable. Like Laurel will tell me that I lower my bar. And that's I don't think that's to discredit any of the guys that I've dated, but I've definitely, like, seen red flags or there have been things that I haven't liked, and then I think made considerations or talked myself into feeling like, "Oh, you're being too, like, whatever about that," right? But I think what's interesting is clearly I'm not getting it right, and I think there are a lot of tips that, like, you guys have given, especially around communication, that I can use while I'm in flight, but I think it's the, like, how do I use all of this for the next time to start at a better level. Like Laura, I love, like you've always said this to me. You're either on the bus or off the bus, or like you
Yeah.
can't lower your bar, or these types of things. Or Laura will laugh at me if you like hook up with someone before you've gone to the grocery store.
And I'm
But
like, how can
just
you hook up with someone before buying apples together? Are you like, what? It's
That's
just
a whole other topic of conversation.
do I
a
really
little. We don't
care
have
if they like
time.
Red Delicious and I like the cosmic one? Like
totally.
but
Yeah.
I do,
You
but
never
maybe that's
know.
interesting. But yeah, maybe that's a big thing. But like it's funny because I actually remember getting the ick with my ex. Laurel lived 10 minutes away from their house. I went to Laurel's house on my way home. I told you I got the ick because it was the way that he was walking and the shoes that he was wearing when we were walking my dog in the morning. There was just something that didn't like hit
Don't
me.
tell
And
me.
Laurel's like, do you remember this, Laurel? I
What
came
are the
with
my
like,
shoes? I
God.
have to know. Are they like
they
New
were these
Balance
like
Old
Solomon
Man?
hiking shoes.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh,
No. No.
with socks.
But Laurel being was like, but Jordan,
No.
like, he's a dad and he's an outdoorsy guy. Like, of course that would be his shoes. And I was like, you know what? Fine, you're right. Like, does that really matter? But like, I was in like Metcons or something. Like, we were just walking hammy through like a subdivision and then maybe a park. But like, it gave me such an ick.
Mm.
And I didn't. I
You
mean,
can
that's
blame
not the
me
reason.
for convincing you to stay because that's the hard part where you're
Yeah.
like, because you need to create space for a person in your life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's like, but not to the extent that you lose yourself completely. And so, like, where
Totally.
is the line? That's super
Yeah.
hard.
Well, I think I think staying past the shoes is one thing. I think the fact that I didn't, and this is like my therapy pouring out of me, I didn't set the boundary when he started telling me who I could and couldn't hang out with.
Sure.
And then instead of me maintaining a boundary, I just chose to not share where I was at all times, despite the fact that he had my location. But like, anyway, we're going down a hole. But I think what's interesting is like, I think as we evaluate the exit strategy personally and professionally, how do you use some of that criteria when you are going to enter something new?
Mhm.
And I think if there's anyone out there listening in a similar position to me in my early 40s and still trying to figure out what you guys have already figured out and find someone or whatever, I think there are some pretty like key criteria, and like definitely don't stay longer than you should.
Yeah.
I mean, entry strategy is an amazing topic for another episode.
Yeah.
I could be the experiment as I try
Totally.
to relaunch
But I think
myself.
everybody can use an entry strategy
Mhm.
because I think you
Yeah.
can apply it to all areas of your life when it comes to relationships. Like Laurel, I really admire that you set
Love it.
boundaries right at the beginning.
Mhm.
And so I think a lot of us don't do that. And so it'd be nice
Agreed.
to kind of have that discussion about how we can be better and making sure that we have boundaries and like what are the things that we let go of,
Yeah.
like the ugly ass shoes, and what are the things that are like non-negotiables, right?
Totally.
Because then
There's
I
a
think
fishing
then it's
hat,
like
there was-
then I
No,
think
Jordan, no.
you have a better
He was so cute,
understanding
though.
of like when is too long to stay because you've assessed these things and you've
Yeah.
kind of mapped them
Yeah.
out in advance of getting into a relationship where you know that
Totally.
like, okay, no, this is the point that I don't go past.
Is it time or is it the things that you're noticing through that time? Like, I think that's an interesting, like, because as we said, if this was work, and Lex, like your reflection, right? If this was work, hey, I'm setting these boundaries around maybe like my work hours or whatever, you're not sticking to the boundary. Or, hey, I'm not getting the respect or upward mobility opportunity, or
Yeah.
all of those things, they completely correlate. Like, again, if I think about my last relationship where maybe it wasn't just the shoes, but like other red flags that I ignored, it was impeding my ability to move forward in my career. Also partially like myself pulling things back. So like you don't get to be your best self. You don't get to surround
Totally.
yourself with the
Mhm.
people that make you great. And I think maybe that's the crazy. I'm happy to be our real-time experiment.
Well,
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
it. Let's do
That's
it.
the
Make
next
that
one.
list. Come back to us next time. And we'll create your dating profiles. I'm pumped about this experiment.
I love it. Let's do it. And then we can
Awesome.
assess in 6 months to a year and see what
Totally.
the turnout's like.
I mean, clearly I can't be trusted to do it on my own. So I need I need the panel. And I've talked to you each individual, like Lex, we used to go on our panic dog walks and you always give me like the positive spin. Laurel, you always give me the bar, and Nina, you've given me some real tough love, especially
I
over
gave you
some
the
Mars
shit.
and chips. But like, I should make it efficient and just like, because I wonder if I give you guys all the same information. I wonder.
No, you
In
can
Anyway.
different
manipulate us,
ways, I'm
but
sure.
for another
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
You probably customize it per person.
Or hide the things that, anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The things you probably haven't told me.
Uh-oh. All right. Here we go.
Hilarious.
Well, I'm happy you ladies listened to my insane
Amazing. Lex.
story.
I love it. You made
And
me
I
feel
hope
so
that-
much better about mine. I thought I was the only one with.
Oh, Hey, that's what I'm here for. I hope other women can listen to this and say, you know what, I've been there and totally sucks. Or like, if they eventually end up in that situation, just know that sometimes you have to listen to your gut.
Or if they're sitting there right now being like, oh, it's not that bad. I can do this. Or we have a trip booked. Or we have whatever.
If you have
Look
to
down at
convince
those
yourself to be
Yeah.
with somebody,
Get out.
should not be
Totally.
with them.
Totally.
Ding, 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 ding. Love
That's
it. All right.
All
On
right,
that note,
ladies.
See you for the next
Ladies,
call,
thanks
ladies.
again. We'll see you
All
next
right.
time.
Later. Thanks for being part of the After Call. If this felt familiar, you're not alone. Hit subscribe, leave us a comment, and share this episode with a friend. See you next time for more real talk about the beautiful, messy chaos of life.